Today we're hitting you with our February real estate market update. And let me tell you, if you had asked me in the fourth quarter of last year what February was going to look like, I would have told you completely different than what we're seeing. And we're going to talk about why that is. See, in the fourth quarter, things really died down, right? Interest rates went from the lowest they've ever been to the highest they've been in 20 years in a matter of like a 9-month period. And that just made the market just stall, right? Fourth quarter was dead. So we start out first quarter, and I think a lot of people had a New Year's resolution to buy a home in 2023. We started to see demand to pick up a little bit. Nothing like we saw last spring, but we did see demand pick up. But the biggest issue was we just had very little to no inventory. So when there's not very many homes to choose from, that started some of the bidding wars again, some multiple offers, and a little bit more competition. Now, we also saw just a few weeks ago, interest rates started to drop, right? We saw rates go down below 6% for the first time in, 5-6 months, the lowest point they've been. And so that helped with demand, with new buyers coming out into the market. Now, interest rates are remaining volatile because as I'm shooting this video today, rates are moving back up again, getting closer to 7, and think interest rates are going to stay pretty volatile throughout the year. But I think buyers are realizing, hey, I'm going to try to find the home that I want. And if I get the home that I want, I can always then refinance later. That's why we see the demand that we're still seeing today. So let's talk about inventory. So when you go and you look at overall inventory from the latest statistics that are released from our MLS, now these are going in January, and so I give you some of these numbers after they're published, but then also I'm going to try to give you some what we're seeing real time. When I look in January, active inventory, it says, is up 42.5%. That's compared to January of last year. Now, what I can tell you though, a lot of those are listings that were kind of hanging over from last year that didn't sell. That's what happens in January. But the number of new listings that came on the market in January was down 25%. So less new listings came on, but overall inventory was up because you had some of those listings that were on at the end of last year. So I'm gonna give you like a real life example. We had a listing that we took out to the market in November and it just really didn't get much activity. That's when that market was really stalled. We decided to pull that from the market in December, and we took that same listing out at the end of January. This is a listing that had about 2 showings or so, very little activity. We took it out towards the end of January, and we had a ton of activity on it, and it went for full price, the same price we had it listed for in November. So what's the combination? Demand out there and not as many new listings coming on to the market. And that's what caused that one to ultimately sell. When you're looking at the numbers, it can be a little confusing because you're saying, well, wait a minute, you're saying that inventory's down, but the stats show in January that inventory's up. Well, that's true, but we also know that as we're getting into February, towards the end of February here, a lot of these homes are selling. That we kind of had that hangover period from the fourth quarter. So I'm gonna give you that's Hamilton County numbers. I'm gonna dive in deep now and hit you with some active neighborhoods that we're involved with. And I could select any neighborhood and it's almost the same story. So you look at Oakley right now, 15 total active listings, but when you remove new construction, there's only 8 homes available. So if someone's looking to be in Oakley, there's only 8 homes. In Hyde Park, there's less than 10 homes available that are active on the market right now, and that includes new construction. Madeira is another one. There's really only 3 active listings when you take away new construction. Right now, there's a lot of new construction. There's a new development happening in Madeira. Those homes won't be ready, even though they're on the MLS, they won't be ready for 6+ months from now. So when you look at it, there's only 3 active listings in all of Madeira. Indian Hills School District, if you're looking to be in there, there's only 8. All price points. In Indian Hills schools, that's from like 100,000 to 8 million. And a similar story for Montgomery as well. Spring has sprung early. I mean, the activity levels we're seeing On our listings, most of the homes are going at list price or over. And so it is, once again, very, very competitive and very different than what I think a lot of us expected. Even folks like Goldman Sachs have revised their forecasts. Goldman Sachs originally across the country thought that values would drop around 6%. They've now cut that forecast in half, and I won't be surprised if you see them revise it once again. Speaking of pricing, let's talk a little bit about that. We saw in January, from this January to last January, prices were up about 5%. And I think as we head into February and March, you're going to see that number jump up. And when I'm saying about 5%, that's comparing from January last year. And once again, these are Hamilton County numbers. Now, the number of homes sold in January were down about 27%. And I think that's going to be one of the issues in the market, is that the actual number of homes sold will continue to be lower because of the inventory issue that we're seeing. So keep kind of reiterating the inventory side of things. You're probably tired of me saying it, but really that is what's causing this market that we're in. It's supply and demand is outpacing supply, and we think that it's going to be another busy spring. So stay tuned, and we'll have our next market report here in March. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure you like us, hit the bell, the subscribe, and you'll get all of our market updates. And you can always reach out to us at oylerhines.com for more information or any of your real estate needs.